Say 15 years ago, I don't know. Yeah. I want to get it changed. I share the same much as my sister. Yeah. Just trade.
Okay, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Art History. I'm making sure I have, hang on, I'm going to make sure I have the right. Oh, crap. All right. Carry on. I have the wrong intro. There we go. This looks better. This is the one. All right. Okay, everybody. Hey, welcome to Art History. All right, so you're wondering, who is this guy? Hello, I'm Mr. Reese. I'm your teacher. I've been teaching art. Well, I teach art and now art history at Cypress Falls High School. To tell you a little bit about myself, I was born and raised in Houston. And as I was looking through old pictures of old family pictures, I found this. I thought I'd share. So my dad used to always drive sports cars. So I found this picture of his 75 Triumph and his 61 Porsche. A few years ago, I was playing Forza, and I really enjoyed playing that game because I could drive in the Forza game the same cars that my dad had when I was a kid. All right, and some pictures of me when I was younger. It's okay to laugh at them; they're goofy pictures. All right, and so in eighth grade, I learned how not to smile for the camera. After eighth grade, I moved to California, and I went to Bonita High School. Has anybody been to school in California? The schools in California are very different. They're all outdoors because California just has awesome weather. So they don't have like the classes are in like a room, but there's no hallways. Like it's like a building, and all the doors face the classrooms face outside. So when you go from one class to another, you're leaving one building and going into another. Anyways, so that's my ninth and 10th grade pictures. And then after 10th grade, I moved back to Houston and went to Robert E. Lee High School over in HISD, and I graduated in '89. They have since torn down this building and built a new high school uh, uh, um, uh, for non-English speakers. Anyways, when I was in high school, I had a '75 Camaro. I still miss that car. It had a very powerful engine and a very fast car. All right, I have attended 7 colleges and universities. So to get my Bachelor of Fine Arts, I went to Houston Community College, Del Mar College, which is in Corpus Christi, and the University of Texas. And then to get my teaching certificate, I went to 2 colleges. I went to Tulsa Community College and Northeastern State University. And then to get my master's, I went to A&M. And then to get my certificate in art history to teach you guys, I went to Lindenwood. And I just finished that just this past Christmas. My master's and my certificate in art history, I did that online. So my experience at A&M and Lindenwood just looks like a computer screen. All right, so after high school, I went down to Del Mar College. This is the art building at Del Mar where I spent most of my time there. I had a really cool situation in Del Mar. So I lived right over here. There's this bay right here. And on the other side of the bay, there's this Naval Air Station. And from my apartment, I could see the planes practicing touch and goes. So combat planes would land and take off and land and take off and land and take off. And it was cool to watch when I was in Corpus Christi. Here is this me on the left. And that is my professor, my sculpture professor. He asked me to be his apprentice. So we're working on a marble sculpture here. So what he did is you can see the lines that he drew on. You can see there's that line right there. He would draw the lines and I would cut them out. And that was kind of the relationship of the master and apprentice. I was using pneumatic tools. So you can see this mask that I have on my face right here. This is like a miniature jackhammer. You see that when they are busting up a like concrete road, it's like a miniature version of that. And marble chunks are flying up in my face. So I got a dirt bike mask to keep them from hitting me. All right, after Del Mar, I went to University of Texas, and this is the art building at University of Texas where I spent most of my time. I graduated from UT in 94, and during that time, I once went skydiving just to prove to myself that I could do it. And so I went tandem. That's me on the bottom. That's the skydiving instructor on the top. It looks like I'm having fun and smiling. That's just the wind pushing my face up. I was actually very terrified and scared, and I felt no fear getting in the plane or flying up or even getting out on the wing. But all the fear hit me as soon as I left the plane. I'm glad I went skydiving. I'll never do it again. All right, in 94, I met my wife, and in 95, I married her. And then I taught at Tulsa Public Schools for a few years before coming back to Houston. I taught at Lamar High School over in HISD for 4 years, and then I came over to Cy Falls in 2004, and I've been here ever since. I've got 2 daughters. The one on our left, my right, is that's Elizabeth. She's 21 now, and this one is a junior this year, and she does the medical class. Is anybody here in the medical classes? All right, and you'll be wearing your scrubs this year. No, you're not doing that one? Okay. So we had to go and get her scrubs this summer. I've got 3 dogs. I've got a German Shepherd, a Labradoodle, and a Chihuahua. The German Shepherd I named after a Roman emperor, Theodosius the Great. We call him Theo. And then a Labradoodle is a combination between a Labrador and a Poodle, and they're supposed to look like this. In fact, this is my dog's parents, and then this is how he came out. That's called a flat coat Labradoodle. And so he has all the genes for a Labradoodle. His parents are Labradoodles, but a lot of his all the curly fur didn't materialize. Anyways, he's a great dog. We call him Arthur. We named him after King Arthur. And so I take them out on long walks in the summer and all year. So I do a lot of training with my my German Shepherd, and they're a big part of my life now. And then there is Isis. We named her Isis after the Egyptian goddess, but she's 15, 16, 17 years old now. And about 4 months after we named her, news about ISIS, the terrorist organization, came out. So there wasn't an ISIS terrorist organization in the news when we named her, but we named her after the goddess. So anyways, she likes anywhere where it's comfy. And so in the summertime, we bought this beanbag chair for my daughters, but it turned into the beanbag chair for the Chihuahua. I once went. I once did the MS 150. That's where you ride your bike from Houston. This is Houston over here, and this is the route, and it goes all the way to Austin. It took me 2 days. I'm glad I did it. I'll never do it again. It was very tough ride, but I used to be an avid cyclist, and that's me on the right with my cycling group. As far as what do you watch, Mr. Reese? Well, we kind of skip around from. Um, so what we do is like we'll have Netflix for a while, and then when we get tired of everything on Netflix, we'll cancel it and then go to Hulu, and we'll do Hulu for a while, and we're tired of it. We cancel it and go to Disney, and so we just keep canceling and resubscribing. By the time we get around to Netflix again, there's stuff we haven't watched, and so we can do that again. But I really like science fiction. So I like movies and shows about spaceships and lasers and space and all that kind of stuff. I'm a big fan of Star Trek, but like the original show, there's parts about it that I love and parts that I hate. Next Generation, I'm not so fond of. I'm kind of mad with the Deep Space Nine, but I love those shows. And this is the new show right here. This is Strange New Worlds. I absolutely love it. And then those shows I hate, and that show I like. And it's the same thing with Star Trek or Star Wars. There's some parts, some of them I really love, some of them I both love and hate, and some of them I hate. And there's one I haven't watched because I'm not gonna. The Ahsoka show is coming out now, so I've watched the first 2 episodes of that. I'm looking forward to the next episode coming out tomorrow. And then Doctor Who, I watch Doctor Who, and then again, there's some that I love, some that I hate, and some I have mixed feelings for. And then it's the same thing with all the Marvel stuff. Some I love, some I hate, and some I haven't watched. Anything with robots, I love robots. And with Walking Dead, it's the same thing. Some parts of it I love, some parts I hate. And if anybody's zombie movie fan, this one, Return of the Living Dead, is the best zombie movie ever. It's punk rockers in a cemetery with zombies. It's a great combination. It's the best. All right, and then this summer, my guilty pleasure was watching police body cam videos. All right, now I want to talk a little bit about my relationship with art history. So as a kid, I always loved making art, and so art was a big part of my life. There we go. Yes. So I drew a lot, and my drawings were usually better than the other kids that were around me, usually. But I hated art classes. So because I loved art, I was always put in art classes. And the reason why I hated art classes is they weren't, back in the 70s and 80s, art classes didn't have much of a curriculum. So it was always, I was given a sheet of paper and just told to draw whatever I want. So art classes really never taught me anything that I didn't know already. And it wasn't until I was in 11th grade in high school that I accidentally got put into this guy's class. His name is Henry Gadbois. He's an art teacher. He was an art teacher over at Lamar, long since retired. In fact, I think he retired a year after I finished high school. But I was sitting in his class, and I was thinking, I need to go and talk to my counselor and get out of this class. When the lights went out, and he started projecting art history up on the screen. This is all stuff I'd never been taught before, and I absolutely loved it. At that time, I loved going to art museums, and so I thoroughly enjoyed his class. And I went to college for studio art, but the art history classes that I took at Del Mar and University of Texas, I absolutely loved. And when I was getting ready to graduate with my bachelor's, I was seriously thinking about going to grad school for art history. But they wanted me to take the GRE, which I'm not a good test taker. They required me to be fluent in a foreign language. Foreign language is my worst subject. And then I looked at the cost of it, and also I was just tired of school at that time. So I said, second thought, I'm tired of school, and so I became an art teacher. Now I love art and I love being an art teacher, but I really wanted to teach art history. So I did a little bit of art history in my Art 1 classes, but I really wanted to teach art history as a class, as a year-long class. And when I was at Monroe Middle School in Tulsa Public Schools, they didn't have an art history class for me to teach. Same thing at Lamar High School, there wasn't an art history class. And when I came to Cy Falls, there was AP art history, but somebody else was teaching that. And so there was no opportunity for me to teach it. And it wasn't until just now with you guys, the College Academy, that art history is a part of your associate's degree. So they were desperate for art history teachers. And so they sent me, they sent me to Lindenwood, and with Lindenwood, I didn't need that GRE. I didn't need to be fluent in the foreign language, and the school district paid for me to go. So a year and a half later, I can now Lone Star College hired me as an art professor, art history professor. So now I can teach you guys. So that's I'm with this class, I am fulfilling a dream that I've wanted to do with for a long time. So I really appreciate you guys taking this class so that I can teach an art history class. All right, so my favorite eras in art history, I really love Greek art, and we're going to get to that pretty quickly. Another favorite era is when the transition from Baroque to Rococo and then to neoclassical. I find that really interesting. And then I love early modern art like this. And then my favorite paintings, this is my absolute favorite painting right here, the Raft of Medusa, and Liberty Leading the People. And I now don't even know the name of this painting, but this is a Thomas Hart Benton painting. And any painting that has a lot of movement and energy like this one, it just looks like there's a lot going on. I really love that as well. Um, Before I went back to school for art history, I was making art, and um, I pretty much do portraits. So these are a couple of my portraits that I've drawn. But then I got tired of like being realistic with my portraits, so I started to get a bit silly with my portraits. And a big influence of mine is Modigliani. This guy, this is not my artwork. This is a big influence of mine, and you can see the Modigliani influence. And so this is my more recent artwork. And then I did a short series where I took Modigliani paintings and I combined it with naval portraiture. And these are a couple of my drawings right here. I do these with pastel pencils. And then a couple of other pieces. I am heavily influenced by art history. And one personal note about me is these are my mini moods. Uh, I am generally a happy guy. Inside my brain, I'm happy. I just don't express it on my face. So I don't smile a lot, but it doesn't mean that I'm not happy. A lot of my students tell me that, when they first are in my classroom, they seem intimidated by me, but it's just I don't smile a lot, but it doesn't mean I'm not happy. All right, so don't take it as any sort of like rudeness or anything. That's just me. All right. Now, I bet you are wondering what we're going to do this class. How are we doing on time? What time are we out of here? Let's see. We are out of here at 8:06. I think we have time for All right. Okay, so again, welcome to Art History. So we are dual credit art history. And a lot of people will pronounce it Dakar, like Dakar. But I rearranged the letters. I call this class Chad. All right, so this is the Chad class. And so when I think of Chad, I think of the 2000 election. So in the 2000 election, it was Gore versus Bush, and all of the votes were counted in all of the states except for Florida. And I don't know if you know about the election, it takes 270 electoral votes to win. And so Gore had 255, Bush had 246. It was a very close election, and Florida had 25 votes available. So if you do the math on that, that would give Bush 271, I believe, and give Gore, I think, 280, 285, 280. Okay. I don't do math. So, all right. And Gore was projected as the winner of Florida. But then they came on and said, it's too close to call. We pull back Gore's win, and we're going to put Florida as undecided. And when they counted it all, in fact, I want to go to this, and there we go. All right, so the 99% of the tally was in. They both had 49%, and you can see just how close the votes were. And at this time, Bush was winning. All right, and Bush had a 900 vote lead. That is such a slim margin. That is well within the margin of error. So they were told to recount it. And when it was recounted by machine, it turned into a 500 vote lead for Bush. Still too close to call. So after a second recount, but some counties were not able to present their recount, and so they counted 70,000 questionable ballots, and the ballots where it was unclear who the person voted for. One county had 29,000 faulty ballots. And some people had voted for both Gore and Bush on the same ballot. And so I'm wondering if these were trolls or if they're honest mistakes. And the problem is that Florida used this system of voting. So you have a card and you put your card into the machine, and then you use this stick to poke holes into your card. Well, sometimes the hole didn't punch out the little flap. Sometimes it so here's a flap holding on by one corner. Here's one holding on by two corners. Here's one holding on by three corners. Here's one where the flap didn't even get undone on any of the corners. And this is one is where it looked like something hit it, but they're not sure. And so these are called chads. This is the hanging chad, the dimpled chad, the tri-chad, the swinging door chad, the pregnant chad. But on the news every night, they were showing people studying these cards and trying to figure out who the voter voted for, looking at these chads. So when I call this class Chad, this is what I think of. All right. Anyways, it took an act of the Supreme Court to figure out who the president was, and it turned out to be Al Gore. So, anyways, Chads. Chad is also a like the alpha male. All right, it's the guy with the big strong chin, and I can't tell if this is exaggerated or if this is a guy. Anyways, all right, this is a Giga Chad, and then Chad is also a country in Africa. But anyways, oh, and by the way, I'm going to use maps a lot in this classroom because I keep watching these videos on YouTube of college students can't name one country. And so when you leave my class, you will not be one of this group. All right. So in this class, it's going to be mostly lecture. This is a lecture class. All my art history classes that I took were lecture classes. So I'm going to model my class on a typical college art history class. You will be taking notes. All right, and you'll be doing some things, some assignments on the computer. You'll be submitting some things into D2L and Schoology. And we'll be taking tests in this class, and you'll be doing a research project in this class. All right, so semester one is going to look like this. We're going to start with cave paintings and cave art. We're going to move on to ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia and Egypt and Greece and Rome. Then we're going to get into the medieval era with artworks in churches. And then we're actually going to look at the architecture of those churches. And then also we are going to look at non-Western art, like in Mexico or Mesoamerica and Asia and Africa, Japan, Southeast Asia, and Oceania. Second semester, we're going to start with the Renaissance. This is Italian Renaissance, Northern Renaissance, Mannerism, Baroque art, Rococo, Neoclassicism, Romanticism, Realism, Impressionism, Post-Impressionism, and then we'll get into the modern art movements, of which there's a billion of. And there are 78,392,877,212 works of art.
Cypress Falls, if I can please have your attention for just a couple quick announcements. First of all, we want to welcome everyone to Cypress Falls. We're so happy that you're here. It's going to be a fantastic year. You were able to find your first period. We're going to be out and about. Anybody in a green shirt, a staff member should have a green shirt on. We can help you get to your next spot. And so we are here to help you and want you to have a great day and looking so forward to getting to know all of you. Teachers, at this time, if you'll take all the badges that have yet to be distributed, if you'll send those down to the attendance office.
Somebody want to go to
We
attendance?
appreciate it. All the badges.
Any volunteers who want to
and
attendance?
schedules that have not been picked up. If your students aren't here yet, you'll send those down so we can make sure we get those where they're supposed to go. Have a super day. We're going to be making a lot of announcements today, way more than we normally do. But that's just to help you walk through the day. Again, so happy that you're here, and we're looking forward to a great year.
All right, so that top number is just a number I made up. All right, it's supposed to be funny, but there's a whole lot of art in this world. We only have 187 days to discuss all these artworks, and a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if a picture is worth 1,000 words, we're into 78, is that trillion? 392,877,212,000 words. So yes, I'm going to lecture a lot. And you'll see this slide every day. There's so much art history. There's never enough time to cover it all. So we're going to run through the art museum, and you'll see that a lot. All right, the big differences between first semester and second semester. First semester has a lot of these colors, and second semester has the rest of the colors. First semester, we don't know who the artists are. All right, the second semester, not only do we know who the artists are, but there's a lot of artists that we're going to look at, and they have, by the way, everybody knows who that is? You know who that is? All right, that's Pablo Picasso. All right, so not only do we know who they are, but there's a lot of information about them. So there's a lot written about them. And even when we get into the modern era, we can even watch them make art. First semester is a lot of architecture because paintings and drawings don't last thousands of years. So, and when we look at the second semester, that's only 500 years old, 600 years old. So the stuff lasts. It's not as long to survive as the first semester. So all that's left in the first semester of those ancient civilizations is their architecture. All right, and we're going to look at paintings and sculpture and objects and architecture this year. Here's a kind of a graphic, and I just kind of made this up. This is just kind of how it feels when I teach it. We're going to talk about a lot of architecture, especially first semester. We're going to talk about a lot of paintings, specifically second semester, and sculpture in both. And first semester will also be sculpture heavy, and then a small sliver of other things. And then the kinds of things that we'll be talking about, we're talking about religion a lot. A lot of art is about sex. A lot of art is about death. And there's a little bit of art about everything else. But religion, sex, and death is going to be major topics of conversation in this class. We'll take 4 tests first semester, 5 tests second semester. There'll be a research project in both. The tests that I numbered, like the 4 tests, that does include the final exam. So it'll be 3 tests plus a final exam. We'll have a few in class projects, and we'll do some discussions. And the research project, well, I will explain a little bit later. We're going to call that the Beast. All right, so it's over 20 pages long. It's in stages. All right, and I say 20 pages long to kind of scare you, but it's not that scary. Everybody last semester and the semester before were able to do it and do it well. So it sounds scary. It really isn't. And we are combined with Lone Star. So everybody, you can get onto D2L. Have you been to D2L before in your other classes? All right. All right. We will be using D2L in this class. So make sure that you have completed your, there's a little training thing that you have to get through, and you have to take a little test, get 80% on the test, and that allows you access to D2L. There will be some assignments on there, and your grades will be posted there. That is your college grade over on D2L. So, and this college grade can be deceiving because, you know, if you've had a couple of tests that you've done well on and you haven't been doing the soft chalks, which is an assignment in D2L, it can look like you're doing well when you really aren't. And then I will be taking care of your high school grade. Also, this year, I am also teaching a art history class over at Cy Park. So Cy Park High School does not have a teacher qualified to teach art history. So I'm going to teach them remotely. So I am currently right now recording this for them. And I'll be posting that recording for you guys, and I'll be posting the recording for them every day. So every day I'll be recording. So that also means that if you miss a class, you can watch the video and get everything that you need. All right, and then class starts the 28th. I will get you guys a remind later on, and that is it for right now. All right, I'm giving you guys a homework assignment that is due on Monday. I've told you about me. Now I want you to tell me about you. So I want you to write a page about yourself on a sheet of paper, and I want you to turn it into me by Monday. All right. So that'll give you this week and the weekend to do that. Also, we get out of here at 8:06. What time is it right now? All right. 57? All right. I'm going to turn on the lights. And I'm going to give everybody a sketchbook. All right, come up and get a sketchbook. Get one. Okay, everybody, this is an art history sketchbook from last semester, last spring, and I'm going to go into depth about this tomorrow. But what I want you to do before tomorrow is number all the pages. So if you open the first page, I want you to write a number 1 in the outside corner, and on the other side, flip that over. I'm going to write a number 2, and 3, and 4, all the way to the end. And it should go to 200. There's 100 sheets of paper in here, so you're going to number it to 200 before tomorrow. All right, there's not enough time to do it all right now, but number it to 200 by tomorrow. Are there any questions about anything that I've discussed? Yes, sir.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color? It depends. So for what I wear, I like to wear navy blues and dark greens and black. Right? For artwork, I love a warm color surrounded by dark blues, like so yellows and reds and oranges surrounded by blue, like my slides. All right, the slide that has the yellow lettering with the blue background. I like that color combination. All right. What about you? Do you have a favorite color?
I like dark greens mostly, or black.
Yeah. All right. Yep, sounds good. Oh, so for you telling me about yourself, so tell me about parents, siblings, what you want to be when you grow up, things, after school activities that you do, your favorite movies, TV, your favorite music. Just tell me what do you want me to know about you? Places you've traveled. All right, and I'm going to stop my video. When I post the videos, they're going to be raw. I don't have time this year to edit them. So let me go to